It's 11:45 and welcome to a special edition of the 1403 News with Lola Ololade and me, Jesuan Calvis.
Welcome on the program. First, we'll take the news stories. Our top stories today are the Brexit debate continues as the Director General of British Chamber of Commerce resigns, and Spain threatened to take action on Gibraltar should we leave the EU. Npower, one of Britain's largest energy companies, is expected to announce up to 2,500 job cuts in the UK this week. Kathleen Jenner makes waves as she announces her support for Republican candidate Ted Cruz, and we speak to feminist and blogger Mary Duffy. Nancy Reagan, former First Lady, has died at the age of 94 on Sunday. And finally, as the T20 gets underway, India puts on a strong front as they win the Asia Cup for the 6th time. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, I'm Julia Reinert, and here's the news summary. The celebrity Caitlyn Jenner caused a controversy by supporting the Republican candidate Ted Cruz and her intention to be his trans ambassador. Twitter users have reacted with anger to Jenner's comments, with many criticizing her status as an LGBT activist. Npower, one of Britain's largest energy companies, is expected to announce up to 2,500 job cuts in the UK this week. Although the company have said they are under pressure and need to cut off jobs, but the workers think they have been deceived. However, a job loss of this scale is more than a fifth of the UK workforce. Unison General Dave Prentice has said that these job losses will come as a huge blow to the company. The Brexit debate intensifies as the Director General of the British Chamber of Commerce, John Longworth, steps down after 5 years. This comes after his comments that Britain's future would be brighter outside of the EU. Mr. Longworth joins a long list of high-profile supporters to back the Out campaign, including Boris Johnson. The Brexit issue is ushering new controversial circumstances as each day passes. The latest angle to this is the threat by Spain made regarding Gibraltar. Depending on the course of the referendum and UK's presence or exit from the European Union, international relations might suffer. Nancy Reagan, former First Lady, passed away aged 94 on Sunday. She passed at her Bel Air home from congestive heart failure. Often Nancy was a controversial figure. She lent her voice to many public health campaigns across America. Tributes to the late First Lady were led by Hillary Clinton and the Obamas. In India, cricket losing out to other teams makes a bigger headline than winning a match. But what made an even bigger headline was the Indian team emerging victorious for the 6th time in the Asian Cup Series by defeating Bangladesh. Indian team members have made an amazing demonstration of their talents, which has raised their standards.
The Brexit debate intensifies as the Director General of the British Chamber of Commerce, John Longworth, steps down after 5 years. This comes after his comments that Britain's future will be brighter outside of the EU. His comments prompted suspension from the BCC as the non-partisan organization found that Longworth was in breach of the group's official position of neutrality on the EU referendum. Mr. Longworth joins as a long list of high-profile supporters to back the Out campaign, including Boris Johnson, who after his suspension from the BCC backed Mr. Longworth and called his treatment scandalous. By declaring his support for the Out campaign, Mr. Longworth accepted he may cause confusion among the voters and insisted his resignation was voluntary. The EU referendum takes place on the 23rd of June 2016. The UK population will be asked, should the United Kingdom remain a member of the European Union?
Whether UK will remain or not, I guess we'll know later. This isn't only the big drama where Brexit is concerned either. Spain has threatened to take political control of Gibraltar the moment Britain decides to leave the EU. The Foreign and Commonwealth Office has said that the political relationship between Spain and Britain is beneficial and respected in both countries. Britain's exit from the EU is unlikely to make any difference as Britain will remain steady in its commitment to Gibraltar and its people.
Gibraltar, however, tells a different story with Chief Minister Fabian Picardo, explaining that although Gibraltar respects the UK, it will be open to pursuing new opportunities with the open market in the future. The access to single open markets and freedom of movement is the key question in this development. He also says that not everyone in the EU will support the idea of ever exciting a political and commercial organization. However, the opportunity to explore other options will be hard to let go.
Now moving on to a story a little closer to home. Npower, one of Britain's largest energy companies, is expected to announce up to 2,500 job cuts in the UK this week. The energy company will be shedding off staffs, which will majorly affect sales and marketing roles following a series of poor financial results. The company, which has not made any official comment, posted a loss of £48 million for the first 9 months of last year. It also lost 200,000 customers in that time to competitors. Npower was ordered to pay a sum of £26 million by UK energy regulator for sending out inaccurate bills and failing to deal with customers' complaints correctly. However, a job loss of 2,500 is more than a fifth of the UK workforce. Unison General Dave Prentice has said that these huge job losses will come as a huge blow to the workforce. He went on to say that the cuts will leave the already struggling businesses in an even worse state and lead to months of uncertainty for staff. One worker from the sales team said he was not surprised job losses are to be announced this week, as he has been told to look for other jobs since December when the 26 million was ordered, but he's still angry with Npower because they have been secretive with the workers. Well, it's been a thorough year for all energy companies, and now the so-called Big Six, one of the so-called Big Six firms, which is Npower, is shedding 2,500 staff. Although the company have said they are under pressure and they need to cut off jobs, but workers still think they have been deceived. We have this report from the BBC's Joe Lynham.
The trade union, which represents some Npower employees, blames lack of investment.
Most of our members spend their days working very hard serving customers, but without the right systems in place, without the right investment, the right backup, that's a very, very difficult job to do. And they try and do it really hard, and they've been kicked in the teeth with this news today.
Npower is a company with a lot on its plate. It posted losses of £48 million for the first 9 months of last year. It also lost 200,000 customers in that time to rivals. And it was fined a record £26 million by the energy regulator Ofgem for not treating customers fairly. It's also struggled to keep up with nimble, smaller competitors. All energy companies have been suffering of late as oil prices have plunged by 70% over the past year and a half. Shares in Npower's German parent company RWE have halved. It will tell us on Tuesday exactly where the job losses at Npower will be and the extent of the problems at the company. Joe Lynham, BBC News.
It's 11:53. You are listening to 1403 News with Lola Olalade and me, Jesuan Calvis. Now, Nancy Reagan, former First Lady, passed away aged 94 on Sunday. She passed at her Bel Air home from congestive heart failure. Reagan was a force to be reckoned with in the White House during Ronald Reagan's 2 terms in office, from reordering 4,370 new pieces of White House china to acting like a public health activist. She stepped out of the realm of president's wife and firmly into the shoes of political activists. Her 1982 Joe Say No campaign was her primary project. Her aim was to educate young people on the dangers of drugs. Here is a snippet of her introduction to the campaign.
Each of us has to put our principles and consciences on the line, whether in social settings or in the workplace, to set forth solid standards and stick to them. There's no moral middle ground. Indifference is not an option. We want you to help us create an outspoken intolerance for drug use. For the sake of our children, I implore each of you to be unyielding and inflexible in your opposition to drugs.
Still on Nancy Reagan. Often, Nancy Reagan was a controversial figure, with many arguing that her approach to the drugs issue was too simplistic. Despite criticism, in her later years, Reagan continued to advocate on a public health grounds. She's credited with convincing her husband to fund research into treatment for HIV/AIDS. However, it is well known that the Reagan administration acted too slowly to the AIDS crisis. Most recently, she has lent a voice to debates surrounding stem cell research. The Obamas led a tribute to Reagan, saying she redefined the role of First Lady.
From one controversial First Lady to another, yes, Kylie Jenner is back in the spotlight after getting involved in the cycle for the American 2016 election. The celebrity officially supports the Republican candidate Ted Cruz and wants to be his trans ambassador. In an interview with Dawn Ennis in Advocate, Jenner has revealed that she will support Ted Cruz in the election because Republicans will ensure every trans person will have a job. She said that Cruz is very conservative and a great constitutionalist and a very articulate man. However, the celebrity adds that quote, he is an evangelical Christian and probably one of the worst ones when it comes to trans issues, quote. So, what's going on? Is that real that you want to support someone who is cataloged by yourself as one of the worst ones related to trans issues, but you want to give your support to his party?
Yes, well, I don't know, but what is behind that? Could it be part of a strategy to the campaign? Could it be a deal just to convince the trans community and to win votes? How is it clear to expect? It has been a very interesting topic because it's not common to think that someone who is transgender could support a Republican party. Well, let's think of what people using Twitter have to say. Twitter's users have reacted with anger to the generous comment. The user at Charlie Wright wrote, doing my best not to send tweet to a woman I respect for her courage, but dang it, you're killing me with cruel support.
Yeah, we got another one, and it's Ben Lanier, who say, I support Caitlyn Jenner's story. However, endorsing Cruz is ludicrous. It seems the only thing Caitlyn kept was her white male privilege. But now, we want to speak with Mary Duffy, author of the blog Founding Feminists about Jenner's status as a trans activist and her role in the election. Welcome, Mary, to our...
Hey, yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, Mary. So, Mary, what do you think of Ben Lanier's tweet?
Well, I think it's really interesting that you brought up the concept of Caitlyn Jenner having white male privilege, because obviously she's grown up in that environment and she's been able to kind of reap the benefits of white male privilege. But at the moment, she's really trying to kind of find this new field with trans activism, and she's finding her feet. But for her to come outside and support Ted Cruz just doesn't make any sense at all. It really doesn't make sense, because as a trans activist, to support a Republican candidate who has repeatedly just not been into trans rights, into gay rights or anything like that, it's just not something that you should be doing.
Well, could you support the theory that probably she's getting paid for that particular party to save that, of course, to win vote for that community?
Unfortunately, I don't know, I wouldn't want to comment on the fact whether she's being paid, but obviously she's holding on to some of her preconceived notions, and she does want to find out what she's trying to find her feet, but that's all I can really say. It seems like an odd decision.
So definitely we have to wait what's going on with that new, but I don't want to say bye without saying about your blog, what is going on with your projects, please.
Well, I basically just write about feminism from a British standpoint, and if you want to check it out, it's foundfeminism.wordpress.com.
Okay, that is on Nancy Reagan. And now for sport. India wins the 2016 Asia Cup by 8 wickets, defeating Bangladesh. The Indian-Bangladesh Asia Cup final played at the Shea-Bangia National Stadium in Mirpur and throughout cricket finals across the country. With the T20 just around the corner, all eyes will be on India as the host nation put on a strong front in the Asia Cup. India overran the 121 target in just 13 points over. Virat Kohli and Shiva Dhawan emerged as the stars of the match. India's victory delighted their fans. In India, cricket losing out to other teams makes a bigger headline than winning a match. The frenzied cricket fans could not stop cheering for their team all throughout the match and danced to glory after the national team actually won the match.
Moving on, ace cricketer VVS Laxman congratulates Team India on Twitter, especially mentioning Virat Kohli, Shikhar Dhawan, and MS Dhoni in his praises. Cricket commentator Harsha blogged, "Is all praise for Dhoni's remarkable batting, which led the victory of the Indian team. However, when many photoshopped photographers started emerging on social networking sites showing the Bangladesh team holding the Asia Cup trophy, this sparkled tension between people on the social networking sites like Twitter." We spoke to one Indian fan in Manchester who had this to say about India's big win.
I am so happy that India has won the Asia Cup. Virat Kohli was amazing. I specifically liked the way he batted, and I think he's the most complete and all-round player that one can get.
It's 11:59. Thank you for tuning in on the special edition of the 1403 News.
What a pleasure having here sharing those minutes with you. If you would like to share your thoughts with us, our personal accounts are at Miss Pumpin and as Just One Calvis. Bye-bye. See you.